Prepare for the loading screen. That will be your mind exploding from amazing gaming news. Are you expecting this? I bet you're not. Oh, let's do this.
Welcome to Respawn TV. We're here again to give you all the gaming news that you may not have heard of. It's me, Brendan McKenna, alongside my co-host, Moose Bland. Say hi to the camera, Moose.
Hi, camera.
Oh, that's nice. We're going to have a main focus today in this episode of Super Smash Bros., but we're going to also talk about some side things along the way that's going to be some interesting gaming stuff that we've searched up this week long. So, the first thing that we need to cover here is the fact that a 5-year-old, this happened about a week ago, a 5-year-old was able to find a glitch in the Xbox Live system. That is right, the Xbox Live system was compromised by a 5-year-old.
Do you expect anything less, though?
Not really. That's just another thing to add onto the list. But
Can you be mad at him, though?
No, not
now,
really.
How exactly did this 5-year-old compromise that?
The 5-year-old wanted to play games that the parental stuff blocked, that their parents had set up. So he decided to try to get on his dad's account. He types in the wrong password, the little square thing, the window comes up and says, hey, you got the password wrong. And he types all spaces, and the thing says that's right and gets him through. So he goes on there, uses his parents' payment information, and buys tons of video games on there. And in response, Xbox contacted them about the glitch because the father found out because his son was like, Daddy, come over here and see that I just got in here. And Xbox, I believe, sent them a thank you note that said, thank you for all this, and here, we'll help.
4
We'll
games.
pay for the games. Right there. So, Xbox,
Get it together.
yeah, well,
I mean, I expected something out of that because especially with Xbox One coming out so fast or faster than their expected date that there were some glitches, and for a while we haven't really heard of many glitches, but this glitch is probably an ultimate one, just like the Sony glitch of people hacking into credit cards and all of that. Now Xbox Live is hacked by 5-year-olds, so
which, you know, it makes
suck
sense.
it, Microsoft.
Makes sense that the kid is like the son of a computer science professional. So when his dad comes over, his dad says, well, I don't understand how that happened, but it totally happened, and my son's got the genes. So that's nice.
Actually, I guess that's a win for him, except for
Yeah.
the whole money loss. Let's move on to Borderlands is getting a prequel. Now,
Yeah.
is this a prequel to Borderlands 2, from what I heard, which would pretty much make it Borderlands?
Yes, they listed it as a prequel sequel. So it's
prequel
kind of like
sequel.
Lion King 1.5, where it was right in the
Like
center.
right in the middle. That makes
Yeah,
sense.
I've never really played the Borderlands games, though. What's it about?
I mean, all I know is some space stuff or
I've heard
not
there are
non-worldly. and-
Billions of guns, I've been told.
Yeah,
so many guns, but I've heard this doesn't have much replayability factor.
Yeah,
and
that's what makes this quite interesting that they're
Which is-
making a
yeah, they're
prequel.
bringing another one
you know,
here.
Amazon has announced their own console. I don't necessarily know how to feel about this. I mean, I'm more of a stay in your lane type of guy, and
it seems like everybody's trying to release a console right now. Kind of like
Yeah.
back in the 80s. If you didn't know this, back in the 80s, like everybody was releasing a console for themselves. If they made a game, they made a console to go with it because they wanted you to buy another thing on there. Kind of like the Guitar Hero spaz thing, where they were like, everybody buy the
wow.
plastic case of the guitar.
it
But
worked
this-
for a couple of years. Though.
The Amazon Game System, which I've looked up, plays mainly mobile games.
mobile.
Yeah, and on top of that,
The gamers are mobile.
it's a huge half of it is video streaming from Amazon. So it's kind of less game, more
I feel like it's a
video.
marketing technique.
It is
yeah.
kind of, but
Buy
you
our
know,
videos that nobody else wants to stream. So,
let's get an Amazon console and a Steam console and every other console that's coming
so
out.
it almost feels like a little like the Roku or the Apple TV.
They're always
essentially.
trying to find a new way to prove.
Let's go ahead and get into the major part of this.
Major part, yes.
You go ahead and announce it. This
All
is your
right.
console.
All right, this
This
is
is your team, I
the
should
big
say.
thing going on. There was a huge announcement just recently on Nintendo Direct over the Smash Bros. That's going to be coming out this year. Do you play much Super Smash Bros?
I have, and I suck, but this seems like their upgrades and everything that they're adding to it will make you at least a little better or feel a little better about getting beat up. And they added so much to the games, but we'll get into that later. Let's talk about
They're going to be released here, just going to say, for Wii U and 3DS.
But they're different times.
Yes.
3DS is this summer, Wii U is this winter.
Which is probably going to be for selling Wii U's. They know if they sell it during the winter time, people will splurge and get the console on top of it because it's winter and it's Christmas time and all that stuff.
Yeah.
But a lot of characters were announced for this new update.
Ooh.
Which include, but not limited to, and just mentioning here, each of these characters are separate, so they're their own individual characters. Greninja,
Comma,
Charizard,
comma,
Yoshi,
comma,
Sheik,
comma,
and Zero Suit Samus.
no comma.
All these characters announced together. So that is a bit different because we've noticed here in the Super Smash Bros. Brawl, the Pokemon Charizard was with the trainer, the Pokemon trainer, which was a whole one guy that had 3 Pokemon. This time around, Charizard's on his own, along with Greninja, which was the Pokemon X and Y water starter. So that is a big thing there.
Yeah, and just a couple of technical things. The main characters, they run on 60 frames per second, which makes them, very fluid. Whereas what I would call the helpers, the people, the trophies, as well
the
as
NPCs and things.
Yep, they run at 30 frames per second.
That's
So
good.
it's pretty nice.
I
And
can't tell anything above 25 frames. You can't tell. There's the usual Pokeball item, which releases a Pokemon randomly, but now there's going to be the Master Ball, which will have a legendary in there instead of being randomized in the normal Pokeball.
Isn't it just exciting?
I go for the items and stuff in these games. I like the chaos of all that stuff because if I get competitive and start playing with people competitively, if I lose against them, they're not my friend anymore now.
Well, that's okay.
So that's why I play for fun.
They also
which
changed the rating system for that.
makes sense that they just split up the game into 2 different modes, for fun and for glory. I clearly am going to be sticking to for fun. I don't know about you. You'd be maybe for glory, but
Some days I'm for glory.
the differences here between those two is for fun is for casual playing that only records your wins. It has all the items activated and it has all the full levels, so it's just the crazy chaos that Smash Bros. Is known for. And then there's for glory, which is the more competitive one that records the wins and losses. And it's for the people that really like to take Nintendo games so seriously that they're willing to take away all the interesting items and play on a flat level with nothing cool happening. So up next, we're going to have ourselves a pack Beyond the Controller by With
Taylor.
With
Beyond the Controller with Taylor.
The way it's written on the teleprompter, I almost thought it said With, like that's the first name.
Okay.
So with Taylor, let's go to the pack.
Severe reactor damage sustained.
Welcome to the next episode of Beyond the Controller. My name is Taylor Harden, and let's talk about this week's game, Titanfall. Titanfall is a 2014 multiplayer first-person shooter developed by Respawn Entertainment and published by Electronic Arts exclusively for PC, Xbox 360, and Xbox One.
Severe reactor damage sustained.
I've decoded an incoming transmission. Can't quite make it out.
The game is released for Windows and Xbox One on March 11th, 2014, with an Xbox 360 release to follow in April. Respawn was formed in 2010 by the co-founders of Infinity Ward, the development studio behind Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. The company announced Titanfall as their debut game at Microsoft's E3 2013 press conference.
Pilots, take the hard point so Fish can analyze the tower. Ready up!
Following Modern Warfare 2's release, Activision fired Infinity Ward co-founders Jason West and Vince Zampella in March 2010 for breaches of contract and insubordination. Their departure resulted in a series of lawsuits and staff exodus. Later that year, West and Zampella founded a game development company, Respawn Entertainment, with money of the former Infinity Ward staff. The idea for the game did not come easily, and the team arrived at its multiplayer-only and human mech focus after much internal debate. Respawn artist Joel Emsley recalled starting with a human-sized suit as a second skin, which the designers grew in size. As Respawn didn't have the necessary computers, the artists resorted to kit bashing and model making. Emsley prototyped by putting a figurine inside a plastic model kit. Project influences include Blade Runner, Star Wars, Abrams Battle Tank, and the Masamune Shirow of Ghost in the Shell. At E3 2011, the Electronic Arts label's president revealed that Respawn's first project was a science fiction shooter published by Electronic Arts. The two project leads left the company to begin their own studio in mid-2012, and West retired in March 2013. The 65-person development team experimented with different gameplay before consolidating the three goals: player mobility, survivability, and emerging cinematic design with fast-paced action. They identified contemporary first-person shooters as restricted to single-player movement, the cardinal direction of hiding in place, and considered new features to increase mobility, such as a 3-story high jump. Vital mobility features include wall running and the pilot's jump stick, which allows for double jumps. Concerning survivability, Respawn chose to populate the environment with dozens of computer-controlled characters to give the players the reward of consecutive kills while reducing the player deaths necessary in return. The team spent significant time balancing the cat and mouse combat between pilots and titans. They also cut out advanced sniping techniques known as quickscoping and no-scoping. Thirdly, the cinematic storytelling segments associated with single-player campaigns were merged into the multiplayer mode.
Graves once told me we could change the IMC from the inside, but it's only gotten worse. Call the shot,
The game won over 60 awards at its E3 reveal, including a record-breaking 6 E3 Critic Awards and Best in Show from several media outlets. It also won official awards at Gamescom and the Tokyo Game Show. Many reviewers predicted Titanfall to be the next step for the first-person shooter genre, and IGN's Ryan McCaffrey declared the game Microsoft's killer app. The game received very positive reviews, according to the video game review score site Metacritic. Reviewers praised the game's pilot Titan balance and overall accessibility for players of all skill sets. My name's Taylor Harden, and that's all for Beyond the Controller. Tune in next time to hear how your favorite game was developed.
Well, we'll be right back, and we have some more Nintendo Direct news for you. This guy's over here losing his mind. You're watching Respawn TV. Hi, and welcome to Respawn TV. If you missed us before the break, we was talking everything Nintendo Direct.
We're going to talk more
It's
Nintendo
true. We're going to talk
Direct.
about some characters that's been reworked. You want to go ahead and get into that?
All right. This is some very complicated stuff for people that has mainly only played the Super Smash Bros. Already. So let's go in depth here. Olimar has been slightly nerfed. Slightly. He's gone down from the usual 6 Pikmin they can carry down to 3. And it's in a fixed pattern where Olimar usually pulled up Pikmin of random colors. This time around, he's going to pull up a certain pattern of colors all at once so you can take advantage of the different colors' effects because they all do different things.
True.
Plus, on top of that, he isn't as much like the up B move. Usually shoots a ladder of like Pikmin to grab a hold of an edge.
Now they help you fly.
Now they make you fly.
And the more Pikmin you have, the
heavier
you
it
are.
is, so it
And
takes longer. So you got to sacrifice your Pikmin to
That sounds
fly
so
further.
bad.
It really did. When I saw it on the Nintendo Direct, I kind of went, "Wow, he just killed off his Pikmin to survive
like
himself."
throwing 'em.
That is survival of the fittest, my friend. Up next on top of that is Lucario. Lucario, on top of what I'm about to mention, is going to have more powerful aura effect. Aura is in Brawl, which is basically the more damage he got, the more strong his attacks were. That is a lot more evident now. He's a lot more powerful than he was then, because that was kind of like something that you didn't really remember because it never really had much of effect.
It's almost the same as Little Mac.
Kind of like that, yes.
When he takes a hit and he like
gets
kind
the
of
star power.
Yep, and then
Kinda
he
like that,
turns
yeah.
into Big Mac.
Which, by the way, that's another thing, but we'll get onto that in a moment. Lucario now has a Mega Evolution, though, so he can go into his Mega Lucario form and really wreck stuff up. All his moves are the super powerful version that he can only get when his aura is completely full. So that is a nice thing, but the problem that they mentioned is be careful not to overexert yourself because you might accidentally fly off the stage trying to recover or something. Charizard,
Camera.
Zelda,
Camera.
and Samus have dropped their transformations. They all used to do a change to another character. Zelda would turn into Sheik, Samus would turn into Zero Suit Samus, and Charizard could swap out with Squirtle and Ivysaur. But now they are their own characters,
Exactly,
except
so-
for Squirtle and Ivysaur, which is completely gone. So that is that. And by the way, there is the Little Mac thing, which will have the traditional star power bar, where if you do hits on the enemy and also dodge their attacks, you build up a power up as long as you're dodging those attacks. And when it hits the top, it's a one-hit KO that you can use once. And also, I forgot another thing for the characters. Rosalind Rosalind, yeah, that character with the Luma, they control separately. You can
Oh,
send the
yes.
Luma out
And
and
you can-
control it with your moves.
That's true. Me and Dylan we were just talking about this,
Mm-hmm.
and at first he was kind of baffled by.
Kinda skeptical
Yeah,
then?
because it's like, okay, if you are fighting with this person or the Star, I believe.
Yeah,
or-
it's a Luma, it's called.
yeah, the Luma. Then you leave the actual main character.
Yeah, you've got
but-
to watch both sides. And
Yes,
that's
especially
gotta
if
be
you're playing with more than one person. That's when it becomes a problem.
Definitely older fans are going to have a harder time because as you get older, you get harder at multitasking. So
Sure.
I'm being honest here. That's everybody's going to, even me, even you, everybody gets bad at multitasking
Sure.
at older ages. So
I suck at multitasking before.
another exclusive about these games is the fact that the 3DS and Wii U versions have different maps.
That's crazy.
So yeah, excluding a few maps with different designs. So that's going to be another thing that pulls them in. If there are some cool maps in the Wii U version, might grab that one. I kind of like the fact that the graphics on the 3DS version are on par with Melee now. Like
Ooh.
basically the GameCube graphics. That's a pretty cool thing to realize when
Seemed a
those
little
things
bit
change like that.
sweet to me.
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
Yep, and also on those stages, every stage has a Final Destination version. So there's usually the Final Destination that's boring and I hate playing on it, but every other level will have that now, so they can all be boring. They can all be for you. Nintendo Direct, a lot of stuff we've been covering, and we're just really excited to see what happens here. We always cover the Nintendo games in big, long episodes. Same thing happened with X
Because
and Y.
they go hard.
When they release things, it's
go
a
hard.
big deal.
It is. It's true.
Yeah, so let's,
coming up next, we have Delta. What are you guys playing this week?
We are going to be playing what I talked about last week, Sir, You Are Being Hunted,
Ooh.
which is a very fun game that can't wait to show you. I hope I can play the Viscera cleanup crew sometime. I mean, I don't think so, but maybe next semester.
He's shooting hints.
Yeah, well, we're going to do more console games, but
Ooh.
Viscera, I'm definitely saving for next semester if we don't do it this time. You just keep your eyes out and your ears out because you'll hear rumors, I'm sure.
Hear his words and see his thoughts. But coming up next is Delta, Moose
my
Bland,
thoughts.
Brendan McKenna. Yeah, haven't you seen, what is it?
I don't want them in my head.
21 Jump Street? Come on, man.
No, I haven't seen Tony. I just heard the song. Anyway, welcome. Thank you for watching Respawn TV. Thank you for welcoming me, and goodbye. Join us Monday through Thursday, 7:30 p.m. here on what channel? Welcome to Project Delta, the segment that comes after Respawn TV, where we play a game. I'm partnered up here with my trusty friend Jacob.
Yet
How are
again.
you? Yes.
Pretty good.
Nice to see you.
Oh, yeah.
Today we're going to be playing an indie game entitled Sir, You Are Being Hunted, which is a game that is an indie title on Steam, which just got out of alpha and into beta. We have already started a world, so we're going to start up here. The thing is, I am going to be the eyes of the person that plays this game, and we're going to explain it to you. He's going to be the ears, so he's going to have on this headset and tell me everything that's going on, because this is essentially a stealth game. The idea of this game is you are a human trapped on an island full of robots that has to get pieces of this mystical standing stone that transports you back home. There are, I believe, let me check here, 16 pieces left. I've already found one that will get you back home, and it's over the course of 5 randomly generated islands that are of different designs and all sorts of crazy stuff. So I've chosen to be, you can choose a different class every time you play, but I'm going to be a hunter this time because I've tried that before and I've been fairly good, and I don't want to be a disgrace like last week.
So now what does the hunter allow you to have?
The hunter starts you out with a stick of dynamite, a trap, a hatchet, a couple timers, alarm clocks to distract people, and a piece of game, which is like some fancy food. So you can cook it at a fire. That allows you to have some more vitality, but the fact that you light a fire is going to attract a lot of robots. So the idea here is that you are a human, like I said, being hunted down like in an old-fashioned fox hunt by a group of robotic Britishmen. My gosh, they already found it. Well, that explains it. All right. I am going to have to cross a road to get to them. Try my best to cross the street here. Get in the tall grass where it's safer.
And so because they're stuck there, you're going to go ahead and try to distract them?
Yeah. They're not going to leave that stone because they know what I'm going for, I think. Later in the game, like I said, they get smarter and they get more strategic with how they set stuff up. They are basically at their dumbest setting right now. So I have to try to distract them in an easy way, which is usually an empty bottle. By the way, a little stats down here. That on the bottom left is my little stats on how easily I'm
starting to hear.
seen. Huh?
I guess I'm hearing those guys up ahead.
Okay. You can see how easily I'm seen. Right now there's no eyeball in that big circle, so obviously I'm hidden entirely. The vitality is how close I am to starving. Once it hits 0, I start losing health, and my health is obviously my health. So I could use a dynamite.
On your left, you got the robots.
Blimp too, or a balloon. Those things, when you walk into a balloon, set off alarms that draw all the hunters within a 3-mile radius, I think. How did I just do that? Okay. Here's the plan. How close are they?
I can't hear him right now. Now do the...
Okay. Oh.
And a bird just flew out as well.
Oh, great. So now birds will attract hunters if there are a lot of them.
But they didn't notice this here.
Okay.
It's going to be okay.
I should get out of that. All right. I'm going to set... Actually, I'm going to pull out a bottle instead of an alarm clock. I'm going to see if I can get...
This is actually really cool because you did this when I was watching you play earlier.
Okay.
And just like that.
Yeah. Now let's hope that I have enough room in my inventory for the piece. And let's hope they don't come back. Okay. They're turning around.
Yeah.
They're turning around. And once they notice that the piece is gone, they're going to start searching the area, and they're actually going to disperse from the spot. They'll stop tracking the area there and start going on their own in a pack. Soon enough, they'll start bringing dogs along, and eventually they'll call in horsemen. If I run into a landowner, there's one guy that's called the landowner in this game on every island. If he sees you, it's going to be like Slender Man, where he hunts you down. Okay. And there's also scarecrows, which look just like normal scarecrows, but if they see you, they activate. They're robots themselves, and they will follow behind you like weeping angels from Doctor Who, and they'll scream, which will attract all the hunters to you.
Wow.
Yeah, the whole time.
I kind of want to see this.
I've never seen it yet. I think they're on a different island than this, but where's that balloon?
I think that was a bird.
Okay, those balloons will come out of nowhere. They're terrifying. All right, I think I'm good. Oh, okay. The tough part's going to be getting over this fence because you got to reveal yourself. It looked like it was just a scouting party. They weren't heading for the standing stones. There's only one balloon on every island, so it's a miracle it's right here.
And waiting for you?
It's random. It travels randomly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it doesn't go for you if it looks like it's going for you. It's just random. But it is annoying. The fact that it's random is why it's annoying. Because, okay, let me just spend some time here. I'm gonna eat my canned pie.
Now, so you have that trap there. Can you use it on, say, a rabbit?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I could use it to hunt game, but then I'd have to cook it at a fire.
Mm-hmm.
I could also shoot down these if I got a gun, which I haven't.
Or you could just save it and use it on the robots then, right?
Right. All the robots can die except for the landowner. Landowner doesn't die.
You should be clear.
All right. So yeah, I think that is the basis of Sir, You Are Being Hunted. It gets more and more difficult. It gets really fun when you get to the other islands. It's basically one of the best stealth games I've seen around here because there's nothing too gamey about it. It's like DayZ, but like more helplessness than that could ever even be. So it's really fun, and I suggest anybody try it. Try it out on
So
Steam.
kind of like I guess an expanded version of Slender, almost.
Kind of like that, only the robots don't always come after you.
Mm-hmm.
They're doing their own thing, except for the landowner. He's doing his own thing until he sees you. And there's also, I forgot there's one other guy called the, what is he? Well, he's a big fat guy that's in some towns. He will not attack you unless he sees you stealing stuff from the homes. And at that point, it'll take like 4 shotgun blasts to kill him. So no use going after him. Don't let him see you steal stuff. Otherwise, he'll just be whistling a tune and enjoying himself. But that is the basis of the game. So join us on Respawn TV, Monday through Thursday, 7:30 p.m. here on what station?
KNWT, Channel 8.
See ya.